Un saludo a todos, estamos ya en lo que es el último capítulo de Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. Vamos acá a concluir todo el arco argumental, develando todos los detalles y lo más importante, la historia de The Boss, que la vamos a vivir acá en este último episodio. Y se me olvida que hay que alimentar a la Eva. ¿Qué le pasó? ¿Y por qué me salió en paños menores la Eva si está vestida con su uniforme de, de militar? Y me aparece acá así. ¿Qué pasó? ¿Será un bug? Bueno, le vamos a dar comida. ¿Qué le quiero hacer yo? Ah, darle comida. La Tsuchinoko ahí para que se la coma. Una ración rusa le vamos a dar.
What did you give me?
No le gustan. Ya hay una culebra, a ver.
Can I have seconds?
Estaba muy buena. Hasta las culebras son mejores que las raciones rusas. Yo no sé, ahí los rusos deben estar atacados ahí con IVA. Acá hay un soldado, a ver. Fallé. Esta culebrita me sirve por si me da hambre con la pelea con The Boss.
Come on, Snake. We made it.
We made it.
Over there. It's the boss, isn't it? I'll go get the wig ready to take off.
Right.
I'll leave you two alone. But come back in one piece, okay? Promise me!
Life's end. Isn't it beautiful? It's almost tragic. When life ends, it gives off a final lingering aroma. Light is but a farewell gift from the darkness to those on their way to die. I've been waiting, Snake, for a long time. Waiting for your birth, your growth, and the finality of today.
Boss. Why are you doing this?
Why? To make the world one again. The world used to be whole. But with the end of the Second World War, the philosophers began to fight amongst themselves, and the world was torn apart. The Cobras, my comrades who trained and fought alongside me, were torn apart as well. The foibles of politics and the march of time can turn friends into enemies just as easily as the wind changes. Ridiculous, isn't it? Yesterday's ally becomes today's opposition. And this Cold War? Think back. When I was leading the Cobras, America and Russia were fighting together. Now, consider whether America and Russia will still be enemies in the 21st century. Somehow I doubt it. Enemies change along with the times, the flow of the ages, and we soldiers are forced to play along. I didn't raise you and shape you into the man you are today just so we could face each other in battle. A soldier's skills aren't meant to be used to hurt friends. So then what is an enemy? Is there such a thing as an absolute timeless enemy? There is no such thing, and never has been. And the reason is that our enemies are human beings like us. They can only be our enemies in relative terms. The world must be made whole again. The philosophers must be reunited. I will devote my skills to that purpose. And with the Colonel's money, I will achieve that end. Just as I once created the Cobras. They are my family. I may no longer be able to bear children, but I still have a family. It was November 1st, 1951. I was in the Nevada desert participating in atomic testing. The name Nevada is derived from Spanish, covered in snow, white as snow. And snow is exactly what I saw in that Nevada desert. It froze my blood white. Snake, you were an atomic test subject, weren't you? On Bikini Atoll. That's part of the reason I was drawn to you. You and I are alike. We're both slowly being eaten away by the karma of others. We'll never have the chance to die peacefully of old age. We have no tomorrow. But we can still have hope for the future. In 1960, I saw a vision of the ideal future from space. 3 years earlier, the Soviet Union had succeeded in launching Sputnik, the first man-made satellite in history, into orbit. This came as a huge shock to the United States. In response, America threw everything it had into its own manned spaceflight project, the Mercury program. Even as the Soviets seemed poised to send their first man into space, America was still experimenting with chimpanzees and rockets. The government wanted human data. So they secretly decided to send a human being into space. I was the one they chose. At the time, they didn't have the technology to block out cosmic rays, and whoever they sent up would inevitably be exposed to heavy radiation. That's why they chose me. After all, I'd already been irradiated once. Of course, you won't find any of this in the history books. I could see the planet as it appeared from space. That's when it finally hit me. Space exploration is nothing but another game in the power struggle between the US and the USSR. Politics, economics, the arms race, they're all just arenas for meaningless competition. I'm sure you can see that, but the Earth itself has no boundaries. No East, no West, no Cold War. And the irony of it is, the United States and the Soviet Union are spending billions on their space programs and the missile race, only to arrive at the same conclusion. In the 21st century, everyone will be able to see that we are all just inhabitants of a little celestial body called Earth. A world without communism or capitalism, that is the world I wanted to see. But reality continued to betray me. In 1961, I was sent to Cuba, to Bahia de Cochinos. It was part of a CIA-sponsored invasion under the guise of taking Cuban exiles back to their country. But the US government betrayed them. Our weak-kneed president held back their air support. Defenseless, the exiles were annihilated by the Cuban army. All I could do was watch in silence. I was set up by the very country I'd sacrificed so much for, by the very government I dedicated my life to defending. I was driven from the surface world, and I went underground. Then, 2 years ago, I faced the sorrow, my old comrade in battle. He was my friend. But one of us had to die. I was left with no choice. The sorrow gave his life for me. There is no enmity between us. One must live, and one must die. That was the mission. The ones who gave me that mission were the philosophers. Early in the 20th century, the true holders of power in the United States, the Republic of China, and the newly formed Soviet Union gathered together in a secret meeting that would later be known as the Wise Men's Committee. The secret pact they formed there marked the beginning of the philosophers. But the last of the original members died in the 1930s. After that, the organization began to run out of control, and the Wise Men's Committee degenerated into a mere shell of its former self. The philosophers of today have no sense of good or evil. Their influence extends to countries and organizations involved in every aspect of every war. They have become war itself. That's how they operate. The sacrifices of war cause a shift in the times. This shift leads to renewed conflict, and in turn triggers the next war. Like a nuclear chain reaction, each conflict sparks countless others, forming an endless spiral that will continue on for eternity. Do you understand what I'm saying, Snake? By consuming me and you, the philosophers intend to keep that cycle going forever. It was my father who explained all of this to me. He was one of them. You see, I am the last remaining child of the philosophers. But after he revealed the truth, my father was killed by that same shapeless, formless organization. And my father isn't the only thing the philosophers have taken from me. In June of 1944, the Cobras and I took part in the landing at Normandy. We'd been given a top-secret mission to locate and destroy enemy V-2 rocket installations. I was pregnant at the time. The sorrow was the father. I gave birth on the field of battle. A beautiful baby boy. But my child was snatched away from me by the philosophers. Look at this scar. This is proof that I was once a mother. I gave up my body and my child for my country. There is nothing left inside me now. Nothing at all. No hatred, not even regret. And yet sometimes at night, I can still feel the pain creeping up inside me, slithering through my body like a snake. I've never talked this much about myself before. Thanks. Thanks for listening to me. I feel content. Snake, commence the operation. I raised you. I loved you. I've given you weapons, taught you techniques, endowed you with knowledge. There is nothing more for me to give you. All that's left for you to take is my life, by your own hand. One must die, and one must live. No victory, no defeat. The survivor will carry on the fight. It is our destiny. The one who survives will inherit the title of boss. And the one who inherits the title of boss will face an existence of endless battle. I'll give you 10 minutes. In 10 minutes, MiGs will come and bomb the hell out of this place. If you can beat me in less than 10 minutes, you'll be able to escape in time. Let's make this the greatest 10 minutes of our lives, Jack.
Boss.
You're a soldier. Finish your mission. Prove your loyalty. Face me.
Wow, esta pelea da escalofríos. Escalofriante. Ahí hay que derrotar a prácticamente tu madre. Prácticamente. Y la tienes que matar. Ya, vamos para allá. Ah, mira, ganó. Imposible ganarle en técnica. La única opción es ganarle fuerza bruta a The Boss. ¿A dónde está? Ya vamos. Ah, pero sí. Ahí sí, ahí se la pude hacer. Y tengo que dispararle con esta cuestión. Me va a demorar 100 años en matarla. Si no, no me va a dar el traje.
Run quick.
Y el problema es que el tranquilizante le quita muy poca vida. Y solo tengo 10 minutos para matarla. Y me toca y me deja sangrando.
There he is. You better run.
¿A dónde se fue?
You're not the man I thought. Move or you're dead.
Ah, que...
Found you. Run quick.
Ya, me voy a curar porque me está masacrando.
You've gotten stronger. Here I come. Time to play.
Ah, pero sí. ¿Por qué no la puedo agarrar yo?
Run quick.
Ah, la pistola. Ahí sí. Desperdicié ahí. Imposible yo agarrarla.
Run quick.
Ay, me esquiva las volteretas. Ya, me tengo que curar porque parece que no me van a alcanzar las providas.
There you are.
Ah, ya me vio.
Where did you go?
Ahí está.
There you are.
Ay, señor.
Get ready.
Ya, si ella gana siempre.
Nice try. Run quick.
Ya, por fin la agarré. Ya empezó a sonar esa música. Mala señal porque me queda poco tiempo. Así que...
Time to play. Move or you're dead.
Bien, ahí me dio el camuflaje. Ahí está el microfilm, con el legado de los filósofos. La información de todas las cuentas bancarias, donde está el dinero.
It's our only hope.
A patriot? Why are you giving me this?
Jack. Or should I say, Snake? You're a wonderful man. Kill me. Kill me now. Do it. There's only room for one boss and one snake.
Qué final más triste. Al final, Snake se ve forzado a hacer lo mismo que hizo The Boss, que también tuvo que matar al ser amado. Ella misma tuvo que matar a The Sorrow. Como un poco haciendo referencia al karma. Murió haciendo lo mismo que ella hizo. Y aquí tenemos a Snake ahora. Prácticamente es como su hijo. Y tengo que apretar el gatillo. ¿Qué pasa si no lo aprieto? El juego lo aprieta por mí. Claro, es canónica esta muerte. Este es el punto de inflexión. A partir de aquí, este Snake ya no volverá a ser el mismo. Es un poco como el episodio 3 de Star Wars, que cuenta la historia de Anakin, y la película más o menos te da a entender o te muestra, te grafica la construcción de un villano desde el inicio. Al final, por este estilo de apego que tenía Anakin, un apego ansioso, bastante patológico, para él dentro de su mente todo lo hacía por amor, pero al final se convierte en un terrible villano que es Darth Vader. Algo similar pasa con el Big Boss, solo que él no se convierte en un villano tan así como Darth Vader. Pero esto nos muestra que en la vida real, por lo general, no existen héroes y villanos, sino que son personas de carne y hueso, convencidísimas de que su postura es la correcta. Y bueno, hay bastantes procesos ahí mentales que pueden llevar a la locura a algunos o a otros a ideas muy arraigadas, y pueden surgir villanos, personas que piensan que su posición es la única posible y correcta, y luchar por eso hasta la muerte. Y por eso que se han generado tantas guerras y van a seguir generándose guerras en nuestra civilización humana, como lo fue la Guerra Fría. Dos posiciones enfrentadas, capitalismo versus comunismo, cada uno convencido de que su modo de vida era el correcto y el otro el equivocado. En el fondo no había ni héroes ni villanos, cada uno por separado pensaba que estaba haciendo lo mejor para el mundo.
Ready to go, Snake? Are you okay? Snake?
Yeah.
I told you you could trust me.
Snake! Ocelot! We're not done yet!
Snake, try to remember some of the basics of CQC.
Not good! I picked up a few new moves.
Eso es señal de que hizo buenas migas con The Boss al final. Ocelot le enseñó CQC. A lo mejor sin saber que eran madre e hijo, pero de eso no estoy seguro.
But I'll get over it. Eva. What do you say to one last showdown?
Yeah, all right.
Acá tengo que elegir una pistola para hacer el duelo. Pero es casi imposible seguir ahí la secuencia.
Snake.
No, not that name. You're not a snake, and I'm not an ocelot. We're men with names. My name is Adamska. What's yours?
John.
Very well, John. Plain name. But I won't forget it. Come on!
Bueno, y acá tengo que elegir entre izquierda y derecha. Como simbólico esto. Así que derecha, siempre, derecha.
Pick one up already.
Apuesto que voy a perder. Estamos en Latinoamérica, acá siempre pierde la derecha, siempre. Ya, vamos a dispararle al Ocelot, pero el Ocelot no puede morir. Si muere, se acaba Metal Gear. Así que vamos a ver si ya le chuntamos. Vamos a disparar acá. Bueno, que en realidad no va a morir. Si ya he visto los 3 finales posibles. Ah, él tenía la bala.
It's a blank. Oh, that was fun.
Era una bala de salva.
Till we meet again, John.
El pesadito quería puro ganarle en algo a Snake, ahora se puede ir contento.
We made it.
Yeah, we sure did.
Oh no, Migs! There's no way out. What are we gonna do?
We've come too far to let them stop us now. Those things have got to be armed.
It's no use. There's no way we can outmaneuver them. They're gonna shoot us down. We were so close.
Weapon systems on.
Locked on target. I got towed.
You were great, Eva.
Huh?
Thanks.
Hulk 19, this is Control. Stand by for a direct order from the chairman. Hulk 19, return to base immediately. Do you read me? This is a direct order from Comrade Khrushchev. Return to base immediately. Hulk 19, do you copy? Understood. Aborting mission. RTB.
Look! The Migs are turning back! Woo!
Well done, Snake.
The MiGs disengaged.
Most likely under orders from Khrushchev.
Is this his way of helping us?
Who knows? Maybe he didn't want things to get messier than they already are. Or maybe he just wanted us to owe him one. The important thing is, you made it out alive. As long as Khrushchev is with us, I don't think they'll be coming after you. It should be smooth sailing all the way to Alaska. I'm sending someone out to Galena Base to meet you.
To meet me?
The DCI and the President himself are waiting at Langley. Don't keep them waiting.
Goliath, me acuerdo que en mi casa había una radio, parece, no me acuerdo si era marca Goliath
Go back to the KGB.
o no, pero era esa mismísima que
What
está
do you
ahí.
want me to do?
Did you ever think about coming back to America?
Si la tuviera ahora, valdría una fortuna ese
Left
aparatejo.
America behind me.
Pero me acuerdo que cuando chico yo mismo la destruí para ver qué es lo que
I
tenía
didn't do it
adentro.
alone.
And I still owe you a dinner.
Is that part of your mission too? Or is it an order? Or is it an invitation? Or a proposal? I don't take orders from anyone now.
Open your heart and smile for me. You're not the only one afraid to fall in love. Dance with me again and wipe this away.
Scholars tell us that the first spy in history was the snake in the book of Genesis. In that story, it was Eve who was tempted by the snake in the Garden of Eden. But this time around, it was I who tempted the snake and got away with the forbidden fruit of knowledge. Forgive me, snake.
Good morning, Snake. I hope you slept well. First of all,
I have to apologize. I wasn't sent by Khrushchev. I'm not a KGB spy, and I never worked for the NSA.
I'm an agent of the People's Republic of China for the General HQ 2nd Department of the People's Liberation Army. It was all a lie. I tricked you. And I'm sorry.
Una mentirosa profesional, como todo espía.
The philosophers still exist in China, too. You see, my mission was to find out where Volgan was hiding the philosopher's legacy and steal it. So I infiltrated his base as a KGB spy. The two NSA codebreakers who defected in 1960 were actually both men. The real Adam never showed up at the meeting place, saving me the trouble of having to eliminate him. I sneaked in by pretending I was Eva.
el verdadero Adam era Ocelot.
You and Sokolov and Volgan.
Ahí nos da la pista cuando nos dice que se llama Adamska.
The philosopher's legacy was originally held in common between the US, Soviet Union, and China. We couldn't let the Russians and the Americans take it all for themselves. The Chinese government had its eye on the legacy too. I got the film containing the legacy, and also the nuclear missile launch data from the Shagohod. 5 years ago, the Soviet Union stopped supplying us with nuclear weapons technology. Since then, China's Liandon easing, hydrogen bomb, and space rocket projects have fallen behind. But with this data, our country will be able to develop its own nukes. We'll create a deterrent force to rival those of the US and Soviet Union. Everything has gone according to plan, thanks to your help. I too am one of the philosophers. I'm an agent of the philosophers, a graduate of one of their charm schools. I was raised in a joint US-Soviet-Chinese facility to become a sleeper agent. This was before the war. Back then, they were collecting children from all over the world. As a result, I'm indistinguishable from a native-born American. So it didn't surprise me when you and Volgan couldn't tell the difference. But she knew right from the beginning. She knew because before the war, she was at one of the philosopher's schools too, as an instructor. The boss was the only one I couldn't fool. She was the only one who knew I was a fake. She told me everything.
Y yo creo que también hay otra persona que también la descubrió desde el inicio, y ese es Ocelot.
But now, I think I do. Snake.
Yo creo que Ocelot la descubrió desde el inicio y por eso no se presentó ahí a la reunión con Snake. Quería ver qué pasaba.
That's why she saved my life. I've lied to you so many times, but not this time. My orders from the government were to obtain the legacy and to eliminate everyone who knew the truth about what happened. In other words, I'm supposed to kill you. But I can't do it. Not because we loved each other. And not because you saved my life. But because I made a promise to the boss. And I intend to keep it. I just wanted you to know. And you have to live. Snake, listen to me. She didn't betray the United States. No. Far from it. She was a hero who died for her country. She carried out her mission knowing full well what was going to happen. Self-sacrifice. Because that was her duty.
You are above even the boss. I hereby award you the title of Big Boss. You are a true patriot.
Y acá aparece Ocelot en los Estados Unidos. Claramente demostrando que era un doble agente y estaba metido en todo esto desde el inicio. Y cumplió excelentísimamente su misión. Y esa es una de las cualidades de Ocelot, que uno durante la partida, durante el juego, uno no sabe hacia dónde está su lealtad, sino hasta el final. Acá Snake, ahora Big Boss, se da cuenta de toda la manipulación que hubo a su alrededor. Se debe sentir estafado, engañado hasta la última célula de su cuerpo. Razones más que suficientes para entender su evolución como personaje.
The boss's defection was a ruse set up by the US government. It was all a big drama staged by Washington so they could get their hands on the philosopher's legacy. And the boss was the star of the show. They planned it so that they could get the legacy that Colonel Volgan inherited and destroy the Shagohod at the same time. Only a legendary hero like the boss could have earned Volgan's trust. Finding out where the philosopher's legacy was hidden was to be her greatest mission. Everything was going according to plan. But then something happened that no one could have predicted. Colonel Volgan fired an American-made nuclear warhead at Sokolov's research facility. Khrushchev demanded that the US government provide proof that it wasn't involved. They couldn't just abort the operation to steal the legacy. So the operation itself was greatly expanded and revised. The authorities in Washington knew that in order to prove its innocence, they'd have to get rid of the boss, and that one of their own would have to do the job. The public couldn't be allowed to find out about it. Not ever. This, they concluded, would be the best way to keep the whole thing under wraps. The boss wouldn't be allowed to come back home alive, and she wouldn't be allowed to kill herself. Her life would be ended by her most beloved disciple. That was the way the government wanted it. That was the mission she was given, and she had no choice but to carry it out. Her death at your hands was a duty she had to fulfill. Out of duty, she turned her back on her own comrades. A lesser woman would have been crushed by such a burden. The taint of disgrace will follow her to her grave. Future generations will revile her. In America as a despicable traitor with no sense of honor. And in Russia as a monster who unleashed a nuclear catastrophe. She will go down in official history as a war criminal. And no one will ever understand her. That was her final mission. And like a true soldier, she saw it through to the end. But I think she wanted you, of all people, to know the truth. She wanted to live on in your memory. Not as a soldier, but as a woman. But she was forbidden to tell you herself. And that's why she told me. Snake, history will never know what she did. No one will ever learn the truth. Her story, her debriefing, will endure only in your heart. Everything she did for her country. She sacrificed her life and her honor for her native land. She was a real hero. She was a true patriot.
Bueno, y acá aparecen unos datos random un poco para contextualizar el momento histórico donde transcurren estos eventos de ficción, pero mezclados con la realidad. Y siendo este mi Metal Gear favorito, es el que sin duda más me ha gustado. Por encima incluso de el último, de Phantom Pain, Ground Zeroes, Metal Gear Solid 4, 1, 2, Portable Ops y todos los Peace Walker y todos los que han salido, mi favorito siempre ha sido, y creo que será, porque no creo que hagan otro Metal Gear, el Metal Gear Solid 3, que podría haber sido Metal Gear Solid Origins, porque de acá nace todo el lore. Genial idea hacer una precuela centrada en el Big Boss. Y bueno, no sé por qué me mandó al escritorio, se me crasheó el juego y quedaban ahí algunas partes por ver que, bueno, se cerró el juego. Siempre los Metal Gear terminan con una conversación telefónica. Y eso es lo que no se alcanza a ver, porque después vienen los créditos, un video con todas las letras ahí, que es bastante larguísimo, con una canción para el copyright para YouTube. Y después al final salen los llamados telefónicos, en donde sale Ocelot hablando por teléfono primero habla con el director de la CIA. Después habla con otro personaje que no me recuerdo muy bien quién es, parece que el presidente o alguien de los rusos, parece. Porque es doble agente, trabaja a dos bandos. El asunto es que si bien Eva se va con el microfilm y con los eh, documentos del Chago Hot, como Ocelot ya sabía desde el inicio que no era de la KGB, que todo era una pantalla, que todo era una mentira. The Boss también lo sabía. En algún punto que no se ve en el juego, le cambian al Snake, le dan un microfilm falso. The Boss le da el microfilm falso a Snake. Entonces iba con sus artes de la seducción, claro, se lo quita y se llevó el microfilm falso. El microfilm verdadero se lo llevó Ocelot, que por eso aparece ahí al final cuando Snake no le da la mano al presidente y yo miro por la ventana y sale Ocelot haciendo así. Él fue el que trajo el microfilm con las cuentas bancarias y un poco el juego da a entender que gracias a eso es que Estados Unidos se convirtió en la primera potencia a nivel económico, a nivel mundial, porque se quedó con gran parte del legado de los filósofos. Y solo una parte se quedó en la Unión Soviética, que es lo que alcanzaron ellos a sacar del banco, ¿cierto? Para fabricar todas estas cosas, se quedaron con bienes activos, no con el dinero, con la cuenta bancaria. Y detrásito los chinos, que se quedaron solamente con los datos que sí eran reales del Chagahot y por eso pudieron más adelante desarrollar armas nucleares. Entonces, la forma como esta historia ficticia está integrada dentro de la realidad me pareció a mí espectacular. E incluso de ahí se entiende algunas cosas que sucedieron en Metal Gear Solid 2, que el juego se desarrolló mucho antes de Metal Gear Solid 3, del origen ruso de los conceptos básicos de los Metal Gear. Como conocimos ahí en el capítulo 5, creo, o el 6, a Granin, el creador de los conceptos básicos que dieron origen a Metal Gear. Y bueno, espero que hayan disfrutado tanto como yo esta aventura. Es un juego que ya me lo he pasado 15 o más de 15 veces y no me cansaré nunca de disfrutar de esa historia y esperando con muchas ansias el Metal Gear Solid Delta, que vendría a ser una especie de reinvención. Esto ahora que está tan de moda el tema de los remakes, en donde se pretende hacer el mismo lavado de cara que se hizo con Resident Evil 4 Remake, que también fue un golazo. Ese juego quedó muy bueno, Resident Evil 4. remake. Esperemos que este próximo Metal Gear esté a ese mismo nivel, aunque sí ya no contamos con Hideo Kojima, que es su verdadero creador, es la mente maestra detrás de estas historias. Aunque yo creo que es posible seguir desarrollando juegos de Metal Gear sin Hideo Kojima. Y eso lo digo porque hay uno que es no canónico, que es el Metal Gear Portable Ops, eh, desarrollado para PSP, que también es muy bueno, es buenísimo. Continúa la historia del Big Boss, eh, pero no se considera canónico. Por lo menos Hideo Kojima no lo considera canónico. Sin embargo, la historia cuadra, tiene todo el sentido y podría ser canónico. A nivel argumental es un muy buen juego, Metal Gear Portable Ops, aunque a nivel de gameplay no es muy agradable de jugar. Es para la PSP. Así que probablemente haga un gameplay de ese juego también, emulado, sí, no en la PSP para esa resolución que tiene la PSP. Buscar la forma para continuar desarrollando esta tremendísima historia. Bueno, espero no haberlos aburrido con todo este discurso. Los invito a suscribirse al canal y se vienen muchas cosas como esta, gameplays, qué sé yo, domingos de fighting y todas esas cosas. Así que si pueden ahí dejar su like, su comentario, estaremos muy agradecidos. Así que nos vemos.